Hey everyone, Ronaldo Offerman wanted to show you another quick tip for CompuShow. Now some of you have seen the video I've posted on mapping the MIDI-Con, how that works, and in reality you can do this for many MIDI devices. I'm just a big fan of the MIDI-Con. Now the way that I have my MIDI-Con mapped, I actually don't take full advantage of it because I really just stick to one page. I do have a couple of pages of cues, but I'm a very visual person. My techs are very visual people as well. Because we run everything live, we like to see everything in front of us all at the same time. So for example, these little buttons here, we have them as flash buttons. Basically, we have them to trigger, for example, our freaks, whether it's on strobe or for music or just solid on. And we have them in either flash mode or solid on off. And then we have the bottom ones to trigger lights such as the nucleus, the UFO, etc. These are to dim individual types of floods or moving heads. Now, you'll see here, for example, we have the innos down here at the bottom. And then at the top, we have various different types of floods. For example, we have a Mega 24. We have the Mega Tripar profile, which we use as truss warmers. We are uplights. We have our QWH. And then Tri 64s, which we use as truss warmers for really long lengths of truss or for really tall uplights. Now the way we used to have it is we would have this one for our QWH, this one for our 24s, and then this for uplights or truss warmers. And that one would be the light that's over the DJ, which is mapped to one of these. But then I would have this one, which would control these three as well. So basically this would go to, if you look at here, right, we right click, and it basically goes to dim each individual page. You know, common sense stuff. But the problem is if this one got bumped, it overrode these or vice versa. So now I have it where we can individually dim various ones. You can see how it's all dimmed there. And then I can dim this one up and down and pretty much override all of these. Not override all these, but pretty much dim these up and down without overriding them and still fade proportionally. And at the same time, it does not affect, if we look in the individual one here, let's say I click on this show, it does not affect the individual dimmer there. Whoops, that's for the innos. Ah, my bad. Here we go. Flood color swaps. It does not mess with the individual dimmer. So how did I do that? Well, it's very simple. Let's look over here in the bottom right. There's a little tab called dimmers. Let's click on that. I made three individual tabs. One for the QWH, which you will notice right here as I move this up and down, that it affects that. So as it's a very simple dimmer, it goes up and down there, right? Then of course one for the Mega 24s below that, and then for the Tripars and the 64s. So let's see real quick what's on each one. This is very simple. We're going to open up, let's say, for example, one for the QWH. Okay, I'm just going to select my QWH. And all I did was basically select my dimmer min max. Have the max at 255, min obviously at 0. And that's it. How does this override everything else? Well, it's very simple. We set it as a scene, or a switch, not a scene. And when we go to settings, we go to our switch settings. We want an always takes priority. And basically this just means that whatever switches or channels are activated within the switch will override everything else. In this case, since only the dimmer is activated on this particular switch, it'll override the dimmer for every single QWH5 regardless of what scene I use. I also have it that the switch is always on, and I deactivated that the switch will automatically be released in case of a double click of another. So I did that for all three of them. Of course, I mapped them for each individual fader. And then I hit it. And I'm good to go there. So again, very simple. So now I can just go here, select exactly how I want it, and then I can do the floods up and down. Now this is different than a master fader, because the master fader will obviously override the entire set of lights. This will not, only override any type of floodlight that I want. So it's a very easy tip. Remember, any questions, comments, or anything, please be sure to leave a comment on the page. Share it with your friends. Thank you so much, and God bless.